Hey guys, welcome to the Guitar Show. My name's Ramon, and today we're gonna discuss how I made my Stratocaster sound like a vintage guitar. Well, in my opinion, I did. I achieved that. I think I did. So the kind of story began with this guitar. It's an ESP. You might want to call it a custom shop ESP. These are only available in Japan. That's not important about this story though. It's just a kind of a Stratocaster style guitar, but it's very well made. And you know, the specs are kind of late 62, early 63. I think that's what they modeled the guitar. They had a 63 or 62, and with the laminate board as opposed to a slab board. So that's what this guitar is. And I was able to A/B it with a friend who owns a refinished early 64 Strat. So that was kind of the vibe I was going for. Okay. So the first thing I did, I was like rocking two pickups a la Richie Blackmore for a long time. Then Alan Dingwall made me some of his pickups, which are, you know, recreation of a kind of 62 era Strat, which were really, really nice. But the problem is originally I had the Goto block, which comes with this guitar. It's a kind of Goto, and I put some raw vintage saddles and a mod, which I still have here. I've got some raw vintage springs, and I like these because they make that noise when you pluck them, and also kind of like a reverb chamber almost. I hate relic springs. I really don't get that, but because you can't with a relic spring, which is basically just got a load of rust on it, you can't, you know, they don't make that noise. So I always believe that a spring should have almost a note to itself. So in order, I'm going to show you how I basically modded this Strat into hopefully a great sounding Strat, which it is. So let's check that out now. Okay, so here we have the guitar. This is the guitar before it's going to be modified. We've got the Alan Dingwall pickups already in here. We've got a Goto bridge, but with raw vintage saddles. Let's flip it over. We've got this is a Goto block here, and we've got the raw vintage springs as well. So we're going to give this a bit of a makeover, and we're going to improve a few things here. Okay, so I've got here a celluloid scratch plate pickguard from Crazy Parts, and so this is apparently as near as you can get to an original. One thing to note here is we've got this black band here. It's quite large. You can see that, so it's not actually the same depth as the two white bits of plastic. So that's an interesting feature. And this is a shield, but this is a Fender shield, which we're going to stick onto this just to stop interference. Okay, so here we have the capacitor that we're going to put into the guitar. This is an original capacitor, disc capacitor from the 60s, and it should be 0.1, but this is actually 0.8, 0.87. So we're going to really try to go back to the 60s with this appointment. Okay, so here we are wiring up, just making a few improvements to the wiring. So that right, Brian?
Running repairs. Years of abuse.
Mainly from yours truly. So guys, as you can see here, we've got the new bridge and the new saddles in, and this fits really nicely. And so we're just proceeding to sort the wiring out, put the disc capacitor in, and then we're going to change these scratch plates over from the original tortoiseshell one, which came with the guitar, to the celluloid Crazy Parts scratch plate. So here we are, we've taken the knobs and pickups out of the control panel. the pickguard, sorry, and we're just going to transfer them to the new pickguard. Okay, so I'm here with my good friend Brian, and we're just basically looking for some plastic parts to go with the Crazy Parts celluloid scratch plate. So I need to decide on these three different sets of four different sets of 3 knobs. And one thing to note is that the original 60s had small numbers, not the large numbers. So I think this one here has large numbers, does it?
Yeah.
So let's rule this one out, and it's a bit white anyway. These ones look like they've been dropped in coffee. Those ones. So it's now down to these two. I'm thinking though, I think these ones, yeah, I think we've got it. We've got a match there.
Because these are too yellow.
Those, yeah, too yellow, yeah. And that might affect the tone of the guitar. So,
it does, yeah.
So we need to get that right. There you go. So that, guys, is all the plastics sorted out. Okay, guys, so the conclusion here is that basically Fender parts, Fender hardware, you can tell me in the comments, guys, where are they making this stuff? Are they making it in America? I know they have a factory called Ping. Now, are they making are Ping making all the hardware for all the models? That would be the question. Because obviously the Masterbuilt, there's some shops in England that are selling, for example, a Dale Wilson Masterbuilt for more, or £10,000 or more, which is crazy when you think about it, because a real refinished Strat is about the same price. So I think, people need to get their head examined if they're going to buy a Dale Wilson Masterbuilt over a real, say, 63, 64 refinished Strat, which may only be a couple of grand more or even the same price. I don't know, but that's pretty crazy when you think about it, isn't it? People actually prefer a recreation of the real thing rather than having the real thing. I mean, it's nuts, but there you go. But anyway, my question to you guys, and please leave the answer in the comments, is, a Fender on the Masterbuilt £10,000 guitar, Dale Wilson one, is that made in the Far East? Is that, which is no disrespect to the Far East, but is that made in the Ping factory? Is that hardware made there? Because my guess is that even if it is made in America, that the hardware is the same as on your standard custom, your team built, what you call team built custom shop Strats. Fender aren't gonna upgrade the metals for the Masterbuilt version. So basically, what you're getting is a kind of a basic the metal, the metallurgy. I think that's the right word. Is not going to be like the 1960s, because the 1960s metal or alloy, whatever, for the base plate and these saddles and also the block, was a softer metal. Apparently, it was a softer metal. Now, the question to you guys is, does this affect the tone? Well, the metal parts are the interface between the strings and the wood. Okay, so even down to the screws, which I know you're probably laughing now, but even the screws going into the body are a different type of metal than that was what was used in the 1960s. But you would think that Fender, with a £10,000 Masterbuilt Dale Wilson guitar, you would have thought they would have actually done the research for that money and made proper hardware, which was the same as the 60s. But apparently they haven't. Now, I don't know if this is for certain. I don't want to have a lawsuit against me, but apparently they haven't. So if you want to get the real deal, as close as you can, then these parts, which I got from Crazy Parts, actually apparently are the same alloy. They're the same type of metal that Fender used in 1960 pre-CBS. So therefore, the conclusion would be that if you got the pickups right, and then you got the metal hardware right, then you're going to get closer. And it's kind of like, it bemuses me why a 10 grand Fender Masterbuilt guitar, they haven't got it together to get the correct metals. So your guitar, your £10,000 Masterbuilt guitar that you bought, it's not going to sound the same as a real 60s Strat. And I was able to around my friend's house, who owns a Masterbuilt Dale Wilson. He owns a 64 Strat. And we demoed this guitar as well, and we demoed the 3, and this sounded very close to the real 64. So there you go. Do you know what I mean? I mean, make of that of what you will, guys, but that's just my conclusions that I've had. Is I think Fender need to do some research and you know, get the real metal right. If they're charging 10,000 quid for a guitar, you know, at least get the right kind of metallurgy, the right alloys, you know. So there you go. That's just my conclusion. I think this does make a difference. I definitely heard a difference between this and the Goto version. This is very, very well made. The Goto is a really good. I think Nash Guitars uses Gotos, but this is a really good stuff. And the raw vintage saddles I would highly recommend. You know, they're pretty. I mean, they look actually like the same metal as what's used here. Now this hardware, I believe it's made in a factory in England, and I don't want to say. I think there was a pickup maker in England. I don't want to mention his name because it might not be appropriate, but there was a pickup maker in England who actually instigated this and actually first ordered this in collaboration with Crazy Parts, which Crazy Parts are based in Germany. So yeah, just make of it what you will, guys, but for my ears, this really does sound, it's made a huge difference to my Strat, and it's a little bit heavier, so this is a few ounces lighter. But I kind of noticed the weight of the guitar a little bit heavier with this metal. So, you know, that might be a consideration you have as well. But it's got a really nice chimey sound. And it's kind of taken out the harshness, you know. Yeah, this guitar had a little bit of harshness before with the Goto hardware, but this has definitely softened things up. But you've still got this nice, really nice kind of chimey, kind of nice airy chimey sort of vibe. So there you go, guys. Hopefully this has been an informative video and just give you some ideas of how you can maybe upgrade your Strat. I'm not telling you now you got to go out and buy all this stuff, but just do some research. You know, find out in the comments where is Fender making their metal parts. Is it all the same? Is it the same kind of base plate that they use for everything? Is it made in the same factory, in this Ping factory, which is out in the Far East? Is all the hardware made there, or do they have like a custom shop that are making specific hardware for the custom shop models? I doubt that. I think there's one factory somewhere that's making all their hardware, you know. But I might be wrong there, so you can tell me otherwise. What is the actual truth of the matter? But there you go, guys. Something for you to think about, and I'll be back soon, very soon, in fact, with some more history videos. Check out. We're going to relaunch this channel. We're making a comeback. So until then, God bless. Take care.